255 sub-article 2, it enjoins not only the committees, because if you look at the motion, there were things that the committees were supposed to do and things that government was supposed to do, independent commissions were supposed to do, and even holders of independent offices. And by way of example, Honorable Speaker, the very first resolution there is that we needed an apology from the National Police Service for all the deaths from peaceful protests. So there is an expectation that the National Police Service also needed to respond to us. There is a question of compensation, and the wording of the motion is compensation from the national government for victims of police brutality. Then, of course, there was the question of amnesty for prosecutions, which was also an expectation of the National Police Service, and a withdrawal of the cases from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In fact, our standing orders enjoin even those independent offices to be able to implement the resolutions of this House. I was in Kisumu over the weekend, and one of those young people was telling me that they are still facing cases in court. Honorable Speaker, it is also not lost on us that there continue to be complaints of abductions by unknown people suspected to be security officers across the country. Even as we speak, there is a famous case of a lady called Maverick Aoko. Yes, Maverick Aoko, who has been missing for a few days. So, Honorable Speaker, I would also want us as a Senate to ask those independent offices, the responsible or relevant cabinet secretary, in line with Standing Order 255-2, so that they also brief this House on how far we have gone in terms of implementations of the resolutions of this House. I have personally taken time to explain to especially my leader of majority, the leader of majority of this House, who's now my friend, Honorable Speaker, that for us in the opposition, Honorable Speaker, if these resolutions are actually implemented, we will have an easier time even having tea with the majority leader. And he knows this. He was, Honorable Speaker, I'm being told the majority leader was distracted. I have taken time, Honorable Speaker, because, you know, we are in a period of people trying to understand what makes some of us tick, the members of the opposition, members of government. I have explained to the majority leader that for us in the opposition, and especially for ODM, for which I'm the Secretary General, if these issues that we passed here on apologies and compensation for victims and an end to abductions of people in this country are actually implemented, he will have an easier time calling me for coffee to discuss other things, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I would plead with you, Honorable Speaker, just like you have directed our committees to respond, all these independent offices and government itself must also tell us why it has taken this long, 60 days later, and we don't see any movement in terms of implementation of these resolutions. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.